Good morning, children. Today's lesson is meant for class 9, and we are going to discuss one of the most beautiful poems in class 9 Beehive. That is poem number 4, The Lake Isle of Innisfree by William Butler Yeats. Well, children, the very first question must be pondering in your mind. What is this Innisfree? It is a small island in the lap of nature. Now, why is the poet associating this title to Innisfree? Actually, during his childhood, he had the opportunity to live in that island and visit the island and spend some time. So he's very much attracted to that very solitude, the peaceful place. Now you may ask the second question कि वो वहाँ जाकर अकेले सिटी लाइफ से अलग क्यों रहना चाहता है। देखिए, मॉडर्न लाइफ कितना व्यस्त है। देखिए, सिटी लाइफ, it is we are living in the rustle and bustle of we are living in the hustle and bustle of the city life. We are always crowded by traffic. We have noise pollution, we have air pollution. हम लोग एयर पोल्यूशन और नॉइज पोल्यूशन फेस कर रहे हैं. वी डोंट हैव पीस ऑफ माइंड. इसी के विषय में वर्ड्सवर्थ ने कहा था कि व्हाट इज दिस लाइफ इफ फुल ऑफ केयर, वी हैव नो टाइम टू स्टैंड एंड स्टेयर. वह जीवन ही क्या जब हमें ये कुछ क्षण नहीं निकाल सकते कि प्रकृति की सुंदरता को देखें और उसका स्वादन करें. हमारा जीवन व्यर्थ है यदि हम प्रकृति से अलग हो जाए. तो इस पोएम में पोएट का जो लेक आइल ऑफ इनिसफ्री है, क्रेव करता है. द पोएट क्रेव्स टू have a peaceful life. He wants to live in solitude. So he says that, well, that he makes a point. There are three important objectivity of this lesson. One is home, घर. दूसरा है isolation, and third one is man in natural world. The poet makes a distinction of home. What is actually home meant for? Why it is important to live in isolation? And the third one, how is man connected with natural world? Now the poet, equates peace to nature and against the sound of the traffic and hustle and bustle of the city. He says that peace means nature. You can't get peace anywhere in the, crowded city. So the poet lives in the city, but he wants to escape from the urban life and wants to go to a place situated in the lap of nature, that is Innisfree, a small island, and spend his time there, over there. He expresses his desire to build a small cottage over there and plant 9 rows of beans, 9 rows of beans, and also in his garden, and also have a beehive for the bees in the Isle of the Sun. The glade where he builds the cottage is constantly buzzing with the bees. He wants to listen to the buzzing sound. मधुमक्खी का जो आवाज होता है उसको बजिंग बोलते हैं. He desires to be independent and wants to live alone in the lap of nature, in the peace of nature. So he craves to have solitude in his life. He wants to have a peaceful life, and that is the reason why he wants to go to Innisfree and construct a small cottage, plant 9 rows of beans. Nine rows of beans अपने गार्डन में बनाना चाहता है और मधुमक्खियों के लिए एक जगह बनाना चाहता है जहां पर वो बजिंग साउंड सुन सके. यानी वो प्रकृति की गोद में रहना चाहता है और शांति से रहना चाहता है. इट इज अ साइट टू behold, to see a nice. And then he also wants to listen to the sound of the lapping of the waves on the island shore all the day and night. The poet equates peace to nature and against the sound of the traffic. He said that nature is synonymous to peace of life, and therefore he is completely fed up with the hustle and bustle of life. He says that he can hear every sound of the past echo while living in the lake island of Innisfree. Now the poet says, ठीक है, एकांतवास कभी कभी एक लोनलीपन का एहसास देता है. यदि आप एकांत में चले जाते हैं तो आप लोनली फील करेंगे, लेकिन उनका कहना है कि लेक आइल ऑफ इनिसफ्री में आप लोनली नहीं फील करेंगे, आप नेचर के साथ बात करेंगे. यू विल बी इंटरेक्टिंग विथ नेचर. द पोइट सिम्स टू बी रियली क्रेविंग फॉर सम सॉलिट्यूड फ्रॉम हिज busy and crowded life, congested life of city, because he has spent his childhood over there and he understands how important it is to live in nature. There is always a conflict between man and the natural world. However, the poet seems to correlate both man and nature, that man cannot survive without greenery, without nature. The way he is living and exploiting the natural resources, now ultimately he will have to go to the solitude and build small cottage, live in a more rustic way rather than sophisticated city life. जो सिटी लाइफ है वो सोफिस्टिकेटेड लाइफ है, इलाइट लाइफ है. जो इलीट लाइफ में आपको कभी भी पीस नहीं मिलेगा. आप हमेशा किसी एक चीज की तरफ दौड़ रहे हैं, धन की तरफ दौड़ रहे हैं, आपको पीस नहीं है, आप हमेशा रूटीन में बंधे हुए हैं. सो दिस ब्यूटिफुल पोएम इज ए लिरिक which is the genre of the poetry, in which the poet is expressing his emotions briefly and in stanzas recognized form. Now, some lines that I would like to read. He says, I will arise and go, not, and I will arise and go, not, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. The poet starts thinking and says that, well, he will arise, metaphorically, he will go soon there to the island of Innisfree, where he had already spent his childhood over there as a young boy. He often went there just to see the island. There he will build a small wooden house with all the natural setting. He will make it a clay wattle. There is an ancient construction of technique of knowing how to make a small cottage. And then over there, he will plant 9 rows of beans, and he will also construct a place for beehive. So he will enjoy the beauty of nature. He will enjoy the beauty of nature. Then you may ask the question that why does the poet emphasize to construct a little cabin in an isolated island? Obviously, he wants to have peace of life. He doesn't want to live in the hustle and bustle of urban life. He's fed up from the hustle and bustle of urban life. The 3 things the poet wants to do when he goes back to Innisfree. First, he wants to construct a small cottage, and then second, he wants to make some plants or plantation over there. 9 rows of beans he want to plant, and a beehive for his honeybees. And then you can ask what to hear and what to see there. He wants to hear the sound being made by the insects, ruffling of the wings at the linnets fly to the homes. He in the heart of his core, he can hear the sound of the waves lapping against the shore. Even as he's standing on the pavement of a road, he can hear those lapping sound of the seashore. So that's, we can say that the poet wants a peaceful setting in a very rustic isolation. He wants to live in peace and nature. Innisfree symbolizes peace and tranquility. And he said, I will arise. Arise means I will go there. I will get up and go there. The poet is most probably sad and depressed because he is totally fed up with the hustle and bustle of city life, and therefore he wants to migrate to a peaceful setting in the lap of nature. And that is the reason why he says that I will construct a small cottage over there. The central idea of the poem is that nature is the only healer of man. Only nature can heal your mind and give you the soothing experience, and only nature can help you live a worthy life. Thanks a lot.